Welcome to round 2 of the REA National Premier League South Australia. We're counting down to kickoff at LJ Hooker Mile End Sports Park, where we're set for a 3 p.m. kickoff. Adelaide Comets to host Campbelltown City. Simon Jimenez with you, and we'll be back at 2 minutes from kickoff, and we look forward to your company then.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play?
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of
people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in higher levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you'll surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Welcome to round two of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. You're joining Football SA's coverage from LJ Hooker Mile End Sports Park, where Adelaide Comets will be looking to get into the winners column. It was a convincing defeat to West Torrens Bacalla last week, a team who was stacked with ex-Comets veterans. But despite some early aggression from the young Comets team, they eventually wore tired in some pretty humid and uncomfortable conditions to the more experienced Bacalla, who took over. Today, they host Campbelltown City, who almost pulled off an impressive second half comeback against Metro Stars. However, an individual brace from one of their star players wasn't enough to get the job done in front of a home crowd, so they will be hoping to make up for it tonight. Team lineup for Adelaide Comets is on your screen right now. Thomas Overall has made just one change, with Damien Lewich, who comes off of suspension, coming in for an injured Matthew Chandler. Meanwhile, for Campbelltown City, they have made just a single change as well, with Daniel Mullen opting in to bring in Jordan O'Dowda, who's come across from Mowbray Jets in the off-season. He'll be coming in for Adam Bruno, so it'll be an interesting situation to see what happens with last week Liam Bruno being in the left-back spot, Jordan O'Dowdy more of a central midfielder, so we'll be watching how that plays out. Our officials today are Regis Queflek, assistant referees Thomas Temby and Joshua Farrell. We are just under a minute away from scheduled kickoff as the teams make their way out. As we said at the start, it was a tough week in the end for Comets last week. A very stiff opponent in West Torrens Bacalla, and despite coming out quite aggressively over time, it just seemed that West Torrens Bacalla showed their experience and took over. Meanwhile, for Campbelltown, it was a little bit of a slow start for them last week against Metro Stars. In fact, they conceded 3 in the first half. A big effort to try and make up for that in the second. They didn't quite get there, but Josh Murray took on a huge individual responsibility, and he managed to get 2. Looks like we're going to be right on time for scheduled kickoff. The sun is shining at LJ Hooker Mylan Sports Park. Bit of a contrast from what we had last week, rainy conditions, but it is a beautiful 28 degrees right now, and a very full schedule of action happening today as well, so it's a great day to get out and see a game. If not, you can catch it all here at FSA Leagues on Facebook. We're already underway with Adelaide United Youth against FK Beergrad. Actually, that one was last night, and that ended 1-0 the way of FK Beergrad. Of course, they were the opener for the Senior Reds. As well as this game, Para Hills and West Torrens Bacalla is on the list for 3 o'clock kickoff. A little bit later, Sturt Lions will play against West Adelaide, replaying that grand final State League 1 fixture from last week. That one starts at 4 o'clock at Carinya. And later tonight, Metro Stars host Playford City at TK Shutter Reserve before 7:30 kickoff between Croydon and Adelaide City at Regency Park. So plenty of action to see. Those 3 goals from West Torrens Bacalla here at LJ Hooker Sports Park last week came from Dylan Klassen Thomas in just the 7th minute, but the back end of the damage done in the 80th and 88th minute, George Blackwood, who was in fine form, followed by Chris Christophilos striking in the 88th off of the bench. Meanwhile, for Campbelltown, it was a diverse set of goal scorers for Metro Stars at their home ground, including an absolute cracker from Hamish Gow, but Maury got a cracker of his own as well, and he struck in the 46th and 52nd minutes. So their home crowd for round 1 would have been excited to see a potential comeback, but it was not to be. You should see front and centre of your screen at the moment, number 10 in the red, Jaden Labasso, returning to LJ Hooker Mylan Sports Park. He was a high-profile transfer across town to Campbelltown last year. Part of the team of the year last year as well. And the other player that went with him was Daniel Vaughan, one of the most favoured goalkeepers in the comp, who has it now and sends it long to the man we just mentioned. Jaden Labasso doesn't quite get there though. Jake Porter manages to get the tackle in and just put it over. Jake Porter, another player that was on the move in the off-season. He came across town from Metro Stars to Adelaide Comets. Campbelltown start patiently. That ball just went beyond Jaden Labasso. Falling to the feet of Josh Murray, the player that got the brace last week. You talk about goal scoring capability. Murray and Labasso on that same side are going to be a duo to watch, I think. As I said in the opening, it was a strong start from Adelaide Comets last week. They had plenty of aggression, but didn't manage to put their opportunities away as they just struggled to get out of that defensive third. Now this will be a Campbelltown throw-in. Number 11 that you can see on your screen for Adelaide Comets, one of the players that came across to Comets in the off-season, Gildas Gonwikezwa. Previously played in SA for Adelaide Croatia Raiders and also interstate for Macarthur Bulls and also Altona Magic. Maury just cut off by Porter and ends up with Gomukezwa. Maury wins it back. Captain Alex Mullen, the two-time Sergio Melter medalist, manages to play it back and get things under control. Jordan O'Dowdy, the player who's made his way into the side for this week. Alessio Malisi looking for options. He had Kenya Fujinami, the new Japanese import, a 23-year-old that Campbelltown have brought in to his left. Campbelltown continuing to be patient in their build-up. They may have watched Comets last week and just noted how they did come out quite aggressively, so potentially just trying to absorb some pressure as Jaden Labasso goes to ground and Campbelltown win a free kick further back up the park. Jordan O'Dowdy standing next to Josh Maury. Of course, last week, Maury with an absolute cracker from the spot, but who will be taking this? Maury's just fallen back a little bit. Maury with a sneaky run. Sent into some traffic and ultimately cut off by Adelaide Comets, and Campbelltown will regather or send the ball long. Labasso didn't manage to get his head to it first. Thomas clears and finds Aladdin Irabona, captain Comet. Here's a chance here. Run from Jake Porter on that right-hand side, but the ball was cut off. Porter wins it, though. He's got Gomukeza and Irabona either side. Maybe he'll do it on his own. Economopoulos just deflected, but it's still in danger. O'Dowdy clears it into safety for now. Whistle goes. A Campbelltown free kick. First little moment looking threatening there, Adelaide Comets. I think it's no secret that Comets are in a little bit of a transitional year at the moment, especially with the departure of Jaden Labasso and Daniel Vaughan wearing red today. And speaking of the man, Jaden Labasso looking dangerous, but just cut off by Nicholas Vatnos. It was a hard day out for the defensive pairing of Vatnos and Matthew Chandler last week. Yannick Delangas did really well and made some real big saves to deny a lot of chances for West Torrens Bacala, who I've got to say looked pretty impressive last week. It'll be interesting to see what they can do this year. But going back to Comets, it is a transitional year. They've got a lot of young players that have been going up through their system. But in just chatting to some of the Comets staff prior to the game, they agree that it does look like it's going to be a very tight competition this year. So a packed middle of the table does mean that it's anyone's game. So every point's going to be critical here. Adam Pictionary playing it forward, and looks like he has ended up starting for Campbelltown despite not being on the early team sheet. More of a midfield role as Fujinami puts it out. It'll be a Comets throw-in. Minsong Park will take. Did notice that long throw being deployed a couple times last week. What will they do here? Chooses to go short to Porter as Fujinami assesses his options. Decides to try go through traffic his own, unsuccessfully. Mullen under a little bit of pressure and just puts it over. It'll be another Comets throw in. 6 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportal Systems scoreboard. Comets did well to just cut off a potential break there for Campbelltown. Irabona slips it through. Marilyn Bardos. But it ends up in the hands of Daniel Warren. As we said earlier, one of the standout goalkeepers in the competition last year for Comets. Formerly of Hills Hawks, Cumberland, Adelaide Croatia Raiders, West Adelaide and Olympic. Now again you can add Comets to that list of former clubs. Debuted back in 2006 for Hills Hawks against Playford. 35 years age, so still a spring chicken as far as goalkeepers go. Now it's Comets' chance to build slow, but they're having none of that. Tried to look for the long ball, but didn't get there. Now here's Maury with a dangerous run under some pressure from Minsung Park, who didn't get that initial attempt at it. He does end up with the ball at his feet, thanks to some reinforcement from Cameron Carlton, but they did give away a free in the process. Josh Murray just giving a little bit of advice to official Regis Queflek. And it looks like Jordan O'Dowdy will take the kick from the spot for the second time. A little bit of height waiting in the middle there for Campbelltown. Comes in, still into traffic a little bit. Ends up all the way back with James Boff, who plays it back into danger. Maury didn't cut it off initially, was happy to let it go. And Comets end up with it and clearing, rebounding with some danger. Irabona played it back. That ball didn't manage to find its way to Gonwi Keswa. Now it's Campbelltown going back the other way. Harrison Conant, his cross cut off. Adelaide Comets on the charge once more. Well, you can't fault the action 9 minutes in so far, can you? Another long ball looking for Maury. He's got a massive target on his forehead. Look for him to try to be caught all day. Labasso. Bit of a soft attempt from his right foot in the end, but watch that pairing this afternoon. Jaden Labasso, Josh Maury. Mullen plays it forward to Conant, but it was cut off before he could get to it. Damian Luich, the one player that's come in for Adelaide Comets today, doing the defensive job. Now Yanni Delengis will take this goal kick. Another new player picked up for Adelaide Comets in the off-season. He came over from Para Hills, who, in all fairness, lost a ton of players. I think their squad may be looking the most depleted in the off-season with the names they lost, but Adelaide Comets had a tall task in replacing Daniel Vaughan, who today's lining up for the other team. So Yanni Delengis, the 26-year-old, getting the tap on the shoulder. He's previously played with West Adelaide, Adelaide City and Western Strikers. Previously even won a treble with Western Strikers. He debuted for Western Strikers back in 2016 against Cove. They thought it was a free kick. It will in fact be a throw-in for Adelaide Comets. Mullen, like he was trying to slip it through to Labasso, and now it's going the other way. Gonwi Keswa has the nice footwork. Konomopoulos was patiently looking for his options. Ends up with Park wide. Another ball intended to go back to Park, but now it's with Porter. Park again tried to centre. Maury had it covered. Helpless. Assists again. Irabona thought he was going to have a crack, but played it back instead. They'll be more patient. Long range. And Campbelltown now on the rebound. O'Dowdy does a great job to find Labasso, but the whistle goes. It will now be a Comets free kick. Did look initially like Labasso tried to claim it, but they will not get it. And Comets have the opportunity to build it out from the back. Exciting to be back for 2026, and of course we thank the RAA, naming rights partner of the RAA NPLSA season. Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. Comets just struggling to play it out a little bit. Luich to Vatnos, who plays it long. Here's a chance for Porter. Vaughan's off his line. Porter gets that shot off his right foot, but great save from Daniel Vaughan. It was a tricky angle in the end. Not a whole lot of goal face to pick out, but it will be a chance now from the corner. And it seems Anthony Mavrolambardos will be taking this. He was part of this Comets side that were back-to-back NPL premiers in 2020 and 2021. 2017 was his debut against West Adelaide. Previously spent some time with Adelaide United. Comes in off his left. Goes past that traffic at the edge of the 6-yard box and ends up in the safe hands of Daniel Vaughan. Got to be careful of time here. But he clears it. Another long ball from Campbelltown, but why wouldn't you when you got the likes of Labasso, Murray and Conant to try run onto those? Vatnos, Delengus, Luich share it around. Content to let those front-playing Campbelltown players chase for now. And here's one of those long balls again. It's just a little bit too far for Murray, who won't get to it in time. It'll be another Comets defensive area throw-in. $14 minutes in on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED digital display solutions. We've been talking a lot about West Torrens-Bacalla because they were the round one visitors here at LJ Hooker Sports Park, but Campbelltown has them next week. Comets will have West Adelaide next week, but we've got a lot of game to get through here still. Some high pressure from Campbelltown, and Jaden Labasso's trying to force them into action. The whistle goes. That'll be a Comets free kick. Gonwa-Keswa, he's got Irabona as a possible option. He hasn't made a run for himself yet, and it goes over. We're talking about the transitional period that Adelaide Comets are in at the moment, but last year, I guess you can say it was a bit of a transitional period for Campbelltown City. They didn't end up making the finals, which was probably a little bit of a surprise, but that did, of course, have the new coach come in last year in Daniel Mullen, making the transition from playing to the bench. After that win, that championship win in 2024, to go down the ladder in 2025. Would have been a bit of an uncomfortable feeling for the team from Steve Woodcock, Sports Centre. But they've bolstered their ranks in the off-season, so they'll be hoping to go better in 2026. In the off-season, they lost at least two players. Connor Centifanti going to Fulham United and Brandon Centifanti going to FK Beergrad. Bringing in Vaughan and O'Dowdy and Labusso. Harrison Conant, promising youngster from Para Hills. Last year in this fixture, it was 2 wins to Campbelltown. They first faced off in round 5. That was a 1-0 win to Campbelltown, with Murray doing some damage in the 56th minute. Faced each other again in round 16. Campbelltown travelling here to LJ Hooker Marlin Sports Park. Malisi finding the back of the net in the 11th minute, and Mullen in the 23rd. This is dangerous. Gonwakezwa, Vaughan's off his line. Looked miss-hit because it went way high. That was a really dangerous opportunity there with Vaughan in no man's land, but Gonwakezwa perhaps thinking that he took a little bit too long to get that shot off and a little bit hurried in the end because it went far too high to threaten anyone. Just got some updates from friends. Thank you, Alessio Carocci. Alessio Malisi is the player that did not end up starting. He was originally named in the 11, but Adam Pictionary starts. So, after being part of the lineup last week, he's ends up backing that up in round 2. Dowdy. Campbelltown will try the other wing. Conan opts to track back instead, and he goes out. Flick was looking to find Gonwakezwa, it didn't make it there, and now it's Campbelltown going forward. O'Dowdy, he's got the usual suspects in front of him, but chooses Kenya Fujinami, but now Mori's got it. Just trying to charge through traffic, but that time Park cuts him off. Now we're going back the other way again. Gonwakezwa was an option to his right, but Park under plenty of physical pressure, and Josh Murray ends up receiving a yellow card for his efforts. Murray goes into the book in the 20th minute. Mavra Lombardos will take it from the spot once again. Long ball, falls just ahead of Park and ends up going out for another corner. Bit of a crowd in the 18-yard box just at the far end of the 6-yard. A couple of runners come in, but it's gone long. Batnos to do some cleaning up. finds a player in the middle, but Campbelltown deal with that, and now a chance for them to go forward. Unfortunate slip for Comets, who managed to retain after that Campbelltown clearance, but now it's a Campbelltown throw-in. Kenya Fujinami taking the throw-in on the near side. A pick-up from Mill Park in Melbourne. One of the continuous parade of Japanese players making their mark in the NPL and Apex Steel WNPL. "22 minutes showing on the One World LED and Sportal Systems scoreboard, and you've got to say there's been opportunities at either end. I think the early rub sort of went to Campbelltown, but I think Comets have held their own so far. Mavrolambardos a little bit rushed, but he does manage to find Economopoulos. Vatnos. Luich. It comes back to him. Long ball. Sort of what Campbelltown's been doing for most of the afternoon. Irabona hit it from range, but hit some feet on the way in and not a threat to Daniel Vaughan in the end. After last week's results, and as we stand currently, Campbelltown sitting in 8th spot on the live ladder, just ahead of Adelaide Comets. But you can say limited relevance at this point of the season. O'Dowdy linking up with Boffa. Here's one of those long balls again, and doesn't get to Mori on this occasion. So it's been a very busy first 24 minutes for Minsung Park, trying to keep Josh Mori on a leash. He debuted back in 2014, did Josh Mori. Spent time with Adelaide City, Adelaide United and Metro Stars, but with Campbelltown he achieved that 2024 championship. And of course that Mori name no stranger to us, given the achievements of his father Damien for Adelaide City, Perth Glory and of course the Socceroos. Goes out once more. It seems Campbelltown have been a little bit more patient in their approach over the last 10 minutes or so. But here's that long one again. This time it's looking for Fujinami. Park effective in denying him. And Delengis will take another goal kick. So 7th spot on the ladder was where Campbelltown City finished last year. So just out of that 6th spot by 1 point. It was West Torrens Bacala who denied them. 9 wins, 3 draws, 10 losses. Not the sort of form they have come to expect from themselves. But same can be said for Comets. They ended up finishing in 9th spot. Just 1 point behind though, so that shows how narrow the middle part of the ladder was. So for context, West Torrens Bacala qualifying for finals on 31 points, Comets on 29. 9 wins for Comets last year, same as Campbelltown. 2 draws, 11 losses, so ultimately could have just been 1 goal the difference between the ladder positions of these two teams in 2025. Labasso. chance here for Mullen. Tried to turn around. Here's Labasso. Cut off again, but not out of danger yet. O'Dowdy has a shot himself. Spills it initially, does Yanni Talengas, but controls it. Looks like he may have got a knock for his troubles. Regis Queflek making his way over to check on him. The trainer's at the ready. Not called as of yet, but looks like Queflek's just doing his due diligence. Well, I think that's probably the most convincing chance that we've seen of this match so far. Real close range, really dangerous spot for Campbelltown, but they retain their clean sheet at this stage, Comets. Gonwikezwa feeds it to Park. Nice little ball slip there. Centred. It's just behind Irabona. Gonwikezwa was looking to line himself up to take a shot off the left foot, but doesn't end up getting a crack at it. Here's that long one again. This time it ends up with Labasso. He had Fujinami on the overlap. Ends up with O'Dowdy, but Comets contain it again. Here's Porter to see what he can do. He decides to go for a run past Malisi, or Piscineri rather. Bit of time for Economopoulos. He finds Gonwikezwa. He was probably licking his lips there waiting for a chance, but he didn't get it. LC thought about taking that free, but opted not to, and he'll be part of this build-up from the back now. Gonwikezwa trying to apply a little bit of pressure. More of a chip than the long ball we've seen so far, but that time it doesn't end up being the tidy one Jade Labasso was waiting for. Dowdy involved again, this time linking up with Piscineri. He's certainly been active in his RAA NPLSA debut for Campbelltown. First time starting in red this year. Here's Park. He was eyeing off Gonwikezwa in the middle, but he ends up being dealt with. Disposed of by Harrison Conant. Park finds himself with it again. Jake Porter was trying to run into some space in the middle. Comets opt to build it up from the back once more. Avril Bardos was looking to put it in the path of Jake Porter, was not to be. Haven't seen much of Josh Murray on the near side recently, and that's because he's switched. He's now gone on to the right, swap with Harrison Conant. But Conant's also had a little bit of support from Fujinami behind him as well. And here is a chance. Boffa, or Murray rather, Boffa was on the overlap. He finds himself with it now, goes to ground. Mullen. A chance here, and it's Conant. We're off the mark, 31st minute at LJ Hooker Mile Sports Park. It is Campbelltown that get the job done. The import from Para Hills, Harrison Conant. Rewarded for the patience in the end. And we mentioned just moments before that, the players had switched the wings and it was the build-up on that right-hand side, but Conant coming in to support and just managing to slip it past Yanni Delengas. So not a bad effort to contain them up to this point for Adelaide Comets, but they'll be feeling a little bit dejected now to have lost their clean sheet in the first half. Mullins coming forward now to lend a little bit more offensive pressure to Jaden Labasso, trying to stalk Delengas. Now he's stalking Vatnos. Seems he's gained a bit of a burst of energy with that goal. And again, just applying that pressure, Campbelltown. Conant, he's got Labasso in the middle. Plays it to Mullen, who manages to keep it. Turning shot that ends up high. Someone will be retrieving that ball from the Adelaide High car park. Scoreboard showing 0-1 the way of Campbelltown on the One World LED and Sportal Systems scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. Comets now need to play catch up and maybe just a little bit desperate with that shot, who didn't find anyone, but Gonwikezwa looked like he was going to try from distance. Maverick Bartos. Park. He's assessing his options, centres it. I think he might have been looking for Gonwikezwa, but just put it beyond him. And now dangerous again on the counter. We know Campbelltown are. Alex Mullen with some nice footwork to keep that one touch just effective enough to retain, and he found Labasso, who finally manages to get it under control. Fujinami take the throw in after it was just forced over. Dowdy, he's got a bit of space in front of him, opts for a shot. It looks like it was curling back in, but Yanni Delengas not too troubled in dealing with that. Mentioned the other games happening this afternoon. One of those is at Para Hills. West Torrens Bacalla the visitors, and we're off the line in that game too, with West Torrens Bacalla already getting one to their name. The live ladder sees them sitting at the top right now. Park has got a little bit of time to assess here. Maverick Bartos. Centering ball. Irabona looked like he was just held up a little bit, but he ends up with it. Appeared he was being held by the player, but whistle doesn't go. Mullen seems to be on fire at the moment, stalking everyone. Now Irabona's got it, and he's got a couple of options in the middle. Ended up just looking a little bit desperate to keep it in because he went straight to opposition. And once again, Campbelltown are on the rebound. Harrison Conant being stalked by Gonwikezwa, ends up with Park. Somehow being surrounded by three players, Conant ended up getting the ball off, but it ultimately falls to Comets anyway. Park's calling for it on the right-hand side. Luich decides to hold up play. Maverick Bartos shakes off Labasso, his former teammate, momentarily. And Campbelltown end up with it once again. Labasso manages to pick off Maury, well judges it, leaves it, and plays that ball ahead for Boffa, but doesn't end up getting a touch and falls to the hands of Delengas. Now the whistle's gone, a little bit of attention to Labasso, and looks like he's struggling with his boot a little bit, but the trainer's been called on. He's a physiotherapist by day, Jaden Labasso, so he could probably tell you the correct anatomical term for whatever's bothering him at the moment. Very high-profile move. Labasso going across town from Comets to Campbelltown in the off-season. He made his debut back in 2017 when South Adelaide played the team he's now representing, Campbelltown. He was the Comets' best and fairest last year. He was back-to-back Team of the Year member last year and in 2024. And back-to-back League Premier with Comets in 2021. Looks like the number 10 will be fine to continue. He's going to come off and he'll come back on with called. Gives him a chance to get some instructions from Daniel Mullen, who will probably be pretty pleased with what he's seeing. I think Campbelltown at this stage, especially after going 1-0 up, have the luxury of being able to be patient. And they're so rapid and dangerous on the counter-attack, Campbelltown, that they can just focus on defending and just waiting for the opportunities to inevitably present themselves. 38 minutes gone. In round 2 of this fixture in the RA NPL South Australia. RAA, of course, chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. Now, what can Captain Comet Aladdin Irabona do? High ball, a little bit awkward. Another chance here. Porter, he has a crack. Campbelltown end up having to desperately clear, and that looked like it may have been a touch on the ball from Jaden Labasso. At least that was the call beneath us, but the whistle didn't go. And we talk about those counter-attacks. Here's going to be another one. Maury taking on Economopoulos. Fujinami's on his own on the near side, calling for it. But as we said, Campbelltown at this moment have the luxury of being able to be patient. Mullen, last year's top goal scorer, but Maury has a crack at it. On the topic of Mullen, he was the top goal scorer for Campbelltown last year with 11. But it did seem like he needed, or tied top rather, because Mark Marino was also on 11. But more attacking options this year with the inclusion of Labasso. They scored 46 last year in Campbelltown, conceding 36. So shoring things up at the back is one of the priorities, as well as trying to get more on the board at the other end, and it was courtesy of that Comets pair from last year in Borden and Labasso. Elsie finds Maury. Got support from Boffa that he uses. And look to get a little 1-2. He's being shielded off from Irabona. Comets managed to get a clearance, but it was a little bit desperate in the end because it just gives Campbelltown another chance to build it from the back. Adam Piscineri, the late inclusion in the starting 11, picks up Fujinami. Decides to take for a run in the middle. Alex Mullen got a little back heel off there, but whoever he was aiming for wasn't there to receive. Tough challenge, but Campbelltown end up with it again. Well, you get the feeling at half-time, which is only a couple of minutes away from us now, that Daniel Mullen will be pretty impressed with what he's seen from his team. Again, they're so rapid and dangerous on the counter-attack that I'd imagine they'd be content to just sit with that as an option. Meanwhile, Comets haven't been able to manage to break forward a terrible lot of times. Gonwiquez was sitting as a lone front striker at the moment. He was more of a wide player last week, and I have noticed Jake Porter's drifted onto the right-hand side now as well. So interesting to watch that play out throughout the year, how those two players rotate those wide positions. Charged in did Cameron Carlton, but Comets don't manage to win the ball. Rare error in controlling that from Josh Murray, and it goes out for a Comets throw-in. He's a long ball. That was looking for Gonwiquez, but beaten to it by Jordan Elsey. The very experienced Jordan Elsey, who first debuted for Para Hills Knights back in 2012. 124 appearance with Adelaide United, 34 with Newcastle Jets, and a handful for Perth Glory as well. If you're good at maths, that means it was over 150, so hugely experienced 32-year-old at the back for Campbelltown. Conant forcing Park into action. Just a quick score check while we've got a free moment. Looks like it's still 1-0 from the Paddocks, where Para Hills are hosting West Torrens Bacalla. It's a long one looking for Maury, but Delangas puts himself between that delivery. So it looks like it'll be 1-0 for West Torrens Bacalla at half-time. Some real pressure there applied from Alex Mullen, and Luich just trying to run out of trouble. Comets end up with a free kick. And it's going back to this afternoon and tonight's schedule. Not far away from 4 o'clock kickoff at Carina with Sturt Lions hosting West Adelaide. And of course, some prime-time viewing at both TK Shuttle with Metro Stars hosting Playford City at 7 and Croydon hosting Adelaide City at Regency Park at 7:30. So 2 games to choose from either side of town. Luich being stalked by Mullen once again. Harrison Conant just given some instructions by Daniel Mullen just to watch Minsung Park floating into those wide areas. LC. Maricic. Thought he found a gap there to find Labasso, but it was cut off. Adelaide Comets look to build patiently, but they haven't got a terrible lot of time to do it. 1 minute into extra time on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard. As Park goes to ground, he looked to the assistant referee, hoping to get given something, but it was not forthcoming. Carlton picked out Porter, but he wasn't in much of a situation to make the most of it. Maverick Lombardos Fancied his chances from long range, but ended up just drifting wide. And there goes the whistle for half-time at LJ Hooker Mile End Sports Park. Just the one goal to speak of coming in the 31st minute from Harrison Conant. But some really dangerous counter-attacks from Campbelltown. I sense that it'll be keeping business as usual happening in the second half, because you do get the impression that more may come. Meanwhile, Adelaide Comets will go back to the drawing board at half-time. Aladdin Irabona currently getting a little bit of instruction as the captain. He's going to be his job to will on his teammates in this second half. Adelaide Comets and Campbelltown City in round 2 of the RAA NPL South Australia. You can see the shots and the shots on target. Pretty even, to be honest, aside from the goal tally, but it probably doesn't tell the whole story, because I think the advantage has to be given to Campbelltown just with those rapid breaks that they've made. Thanks for joining us for the first half. We'll be back for the second. We'll catch you soon.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jay Drobran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Welcome football fans, one and all, to the 2025 RAA NPLSA Grand Final, a night where history beckons. Under the lights here tonight, one team will end their years of wait and finally add another elusive star upon their crest, while the other will face heartbreak and their dreams of glory will have to wait yet another year. It's the Metro Stars Soccer Club facing up against Croydon Football Club. And we're underway here. We have a lift-off in the 2025 RAA NPLSA Grand Final. You can hear the noise already.
Success in this game. Hopefully for him that changes tonight.
First corner of the day by Michael Chidini. Near post. Walls with a header. And it's a great save from Daniel Margosh near to his post on the right there. But it's the first chance of the day, Mark, and it's a great delivery. First again, Chidini looking for that near post. This time it's a Croydon head. Out to Satira with the volley. Not sure if the goalkeeper had sight of that one, but it's just gone past the near post.
Yeah.
Here's Oscar Slattery looking to deliver. It's a great ball in as well. Nobody's there for Croydon. And now John will try and clean this up at the back post. John on his left foot, strikes. And deflected out for the first corner for Croydon, Mark. A great delivery there from young Oscar Slattery. Again off the boot of Polly. Celebrated his 150th game this year. Out Trimboli with a right-footed strike, and that's far and wide, but an early sider there for Croydon and their leading marksman this season, Luca Trimboli. Here's his delivery now, near post. Good defensive header. Still going to come to Hisamoto with a strike on the left. Didn't connect with that one as he would have liked, and goes far over the bar.
Yeah, they know that the fact is they've got the ability to get the ball into play, and this is where they can catch teams out.
That missed header has led it to Cittadini on the edge of the box, has a strike deflected. Porter's there, the goalkeeper is too. I think he might have been offside there, Porter, but Daniel Margosh putting himself in the danger area.
Really does a lot of hard work, and a lot of work that people don't normally see a lot of.
Passio John doing the work to find Klimek free, and now it's Trimboli with a left-footed strike. Caught neatly on the volley there, but he can't find the target, Mark.
Press a little bit higher, press a little bit harder, and it's proof in the pudding now.
Back to Klimek, first time delivery. Finds all the way out to Styles, who tries to lift at far post for Slattery, wins the header. Trimboli, does he get a second opportunity? He's going to go with his left again. And now John with Nagel. John has the strike. It's just past the far post, Mark.
Supremacy with that ball and on the park.
Here's Visser back with the ball at his feet to sight for Metro fans to enjoy. Woodfin now finds the free man. Satira puts a ball in. More fantastic work there from young Chris Vivian, getting in the way once again, Mark. And
he's a zip, and we've seen that by the fact that the passing has been fantastic.
That's an excellent ball from Cittadini to his opposing winger in Visser. He's going 1v1, trying to favour it onto that left foot. It is strike, but over the bar, and it's not deflected either, as Visser's trying to claim, but
him in the side.
Playing his 32nd game today. It's also in line with Jackson Walls and his goalkeeper there in Cody Ostrike. And then it's 3 to play all games this season. Now we're in the box with Cittadini, has a strike. It's got not enough power on it as Margush can come, and he may give a word there to, looks like, here's Polly. Great deep delivery. Mapaw's there with a header. It's a great save though. Cody Ostrike down to his right. Push it out for a corner, but
another 45, very similar to the first 45. Both teams willing to attack, both teams throwing themselves on the line to defend.
Now McNamara has to deal with this. Hisamoto's going to beat him to the ball. Looks to have a strike, deflected, and it's in, Mark! Into the top right corner, and it's Maya Hisamoto who opens the scoring here in the RA NPLSA final. And what a goal it is, Mark.
We said they've started 100 mile an hour, both teams going for it. Croydon, first team to capitalise. Noel McNamara can't clear his lines. He's gone to hook it out. Trimboli read where he was going to go, managed to get the block in. It fell kindly to Hisamoto. Then Hisamoto able to get his shot on target.
Came out on the winning side of that occasion. So far in grand finals for Metro, he's not been so lucky. There's another turnover in the middle of the park. Trimboli, his touch is loose, but he beats Gow to the ball. Now he switches it. Excellent vision from Trimboli to find Passio John. He has the strike and it's deflected. And no, more great defensive work from wingers. That was Cittadini all the way back. High boot there by Martinelli, but he's going to win the ball. Looks to deliver near post. No touch forthcoming for Croydon.
Up, Ren obviously, then Nagamatsu moved on. Windsor's come in. So when you're playing a side like this, that just allows you the opportunities as well.
Right in the thick of things there with a great touch. Looking for the return by Visser. Shapes to shoot instead, and maybe that was the wrong option as it skies well over the bar. But a good first introduction there for Owen Windsor. Took the ball down.
Coming off, but I think they'll be on fairly soon, unlike the delay to Owen Windsor when he made his entry due to an issue with the colour of his socks.
Ball comes in and it's a big chance there. Another switcher play by Woodfin. It's excellent to Visser. He's got to look to put a ball in here. Looks for the cutback instead. It's Cittadini. It's deflected. You're going to see another chance here on the break. Greco has fed Alexander Good. But his shot is deflected out, and there was some good defending there by Metro Stars.
Exactly.
Yeah, they will take him on and look for the pass. He looks for the pass instead. And he spun well there, Windsor. And it's Cittadini with only the goalkeeper to beat. Takes it past him. And he can't find the back of the net. It's cleared off the line there by Vivian. But it's still alive here for Metro. And they'll win in the Shield final as well. So he's a man for the big occasion. And he might be the one to finish things off here tonight. But struggling to clear their lines here at Croydon. Visser trying to find the feet of Windsor. He's in behind, takes it past another one at Windsor. Too close to the goalkeeper, and Croydon will clear mark. But they're really pushing up. Can Croydon seal things off here with a second? Delivery into the box. It's dangerous, and it's just over. Additional time.
I was going to say that was just announced around the ground, the 6 minutes, and that's the boos from Croydon side of the grandstand.
D'Angelo's in the box now, looking for a cross, and it's in! It's Woodfin, the hero! The Americans got them back in the clash, Mark, and it's at the death here. He's just nicked into the near post. We said it might have been too late, but it's never too late for the Americans.
No, we always said it might be too late, but Metro have always got the opportunity. You can never write them off. And we thought that was a little bit odd that Woodfin was getting the ball rolling quickly, but it allowed McNamara to swing that ball into the far post. D'Angelo fighting, and we're going to head to extra time by the looks of it.
What a moment for Metro Stars. They're back in this game, and we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now. We cannot say that now. We've just seen 2 goals in the space of a minute.
We said he was the man for the big occasions, Andre Cole, and he hasn't had too many this year, but this could be the biggest for him. Goals in grand finals. Who else do you call for but Mr. Andre Cole, Mark?
He's had a rough season. He's just come up and possibly won it for Croydon. Passage on. All the hard work he's put in this whole game. Puts in an absolute delightful ball.
McNamara can clear. Only to Martinello. A slip. Greco. Can he seal it with a third? It's deflected, and it's going to be a corner, Mark. That's another clearance. And the whistle's in the mouth of Regis Quefalek, and your champions for 2025 are Croydon FC. After 8 long years of wait, the crown is finally theirs, and it's going back to Bologna, Mark. It's bedlam there on the pitch. Your 2025 REA NPLSA champions, 6th time champions of SA here, and they're back on top, Croydon. The underdogs tonight, but they're going to be heroes for years.
I think something most people don't realise about being a referee is how rewarding it actually is, and like the amount of friends and mates you make along the way. Like, it's just a really great community. I was really nervous. I just got a random call up and I went out to the ground, but it was really great. Like, I had great support my first game, and it was really good to just be surrounded by people who did support me. I love officiating football because it's really rewarding, and like, it's a great way to be still a part of the game even if you aren't playing. I think my "this is why I do it" moment was last year, this year actually. I made my debut as an A-League official, and just being in front of like a big crowd was really cool to have experience, and it clicked in that moment. I was like, yeah, this is 100% why I do it. I have a great support system like here at FSA behind me. I would 100% say to someone who was thinking of becoming a referee to absolutely just go for it. Like, it's not as scary as you think it might be. Like, it's really good.
Welcome back to LJ Hooker Myland Sports Park. We're now ready to get the second half underway in this fixture. Adelaide Comets hosting Campbelltown City. Our highlight of the first half came in the 31st minute with Harrison Conant finding the back of the net. Despite the data showing that shots, only one separated the two teams and shots on target were identical. You've got to say the more threatening play coming from Campbelltown City. Dangerous counter-attacking sequences. So it's likely that they'll try to continue that in this second half. But we're back underway here. Looking for Minsung Park on that far side. He gets to it second though, behind Kenya Fujinami. I can tell you a score update from elsewhere this afternoon. It is currently 2-0 the way of the visitors. West Torrens Bacalla at the Paddocks. 4 o'clock kickoff at Carinya between Sturt and West Adelaide. The replay of last year's State League 1 Grand Final is, well, it should be underway now actually. And of course last night FK Beergrad travelling to Coopers. Looked like it would have been a chance had Jaden Labasso got to the end of that initial delivery, but they're not out of danger yet. Long range chance for Campbelltown. It's just put over the crossbar by Yanni Delengus. And now there's an opportunity for Campbelltown to increase their lead off the back of this corner. Adam Piscineri will take. He was a late inclusion. Originally looked like he was going to start on the bench with someone else coming in for him, but cross comes in. Jordan Maricic didn't get the touch that he was looking for. Just going back to that, it looked like that change initially was going to be O'Dowdy coming on. Yeah, O'Dowdy was initially the change to the starting 11 for Piscineri, but he ended up forming part of that starting 11 in the end with one of their players not making it to the starting whistle. Elsie finds Mullen. Maricic. As we said towards the end of the first half, Campbelltown really have the luxury now of being able to be patient, and they play it all the way back. Maury, he's been instrumental in a couple of threatening attacks already. O'Dowdy, the Modbury Jets pick up from the off-season. He found Boffer and Alex Mullen just jostling, but he spills. He looked for Regis Queflek for the whistle, but it wasn't forthcoming. Fujinami playing it back to the former Comet in Daniel Vaughan. Good with his feet, but that final long ball. Damian Luich getting a little bit of attention from Regis Queflek. He was the one change for Comets for the starting 11 today. He come off suspension and entered this side, but unfortunately for Comets, Matthew Chandler on physio instructions, not taking part of this game. He came off looking in a little bit of discomfort last week, so not terribly surprising that he's not taking part. Bonner fancied his shot on there for just a moment, but now Campbelltown on the attack. Porter does well to Madeline Bardas rather initially got in front of it, but Campbelltown on the attack again. Conant was looking for Mullen in the middle, but didn't get there. Some of these forward runners for Comets just looking a little bit isolated at times. Basso finds Conant. He's got Fujinami running in, but just went beyond him onto the head of Luich. Conant dispossessed, and now Comets have a chance to build. Aladdin Irabona making his way onto the near side, although he's just ducked in more centrally now. The Adelaide Comets captain being tightly watched by his marker in James Boffa. Looks like just an additional bit of patience from Comets in the start of this second half. Gonwikezwa just lost it to Elsie. And here's another one of those long balls from Campbelltown that we've seen be so effective in the first half. Jaden Labasso just maybe overhit the first touch, and it's picked up by Delengus. And now Park going the other way. Left the ball behind, and Aladdin Irabona was taking a run on the far end, so he would have loved to receive that. All the way back again for Campbelltown. 51 minutes on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard. Boffa has some space to cross. He does. Falls to the feet of Luich. And the ball goes out in front of the Campbelltown bench. Coach Daniel Mullen getting a touch. Elsie with a long one looking for Labasso, but he'll have to fight for it. Falls to Conant. Labasso's calling for it in the middle. Fujinami eventually centres it, but maybe a little bit too late. Vatnos must have got the touch on it to put it over, because it will be a Campbelltown corner. Adam Piccioneri will be the one to take it. Plenty of red shirts in the 18-yard box. Labasso standing right next to Yanni Delengus. Elsie's there to support with his height, but just goes beyond him, and Comets managed to initially clear. Gonwikezwa's got it, but he's being pursued by LC, who has picked up a yellow card. Regis Queflek making the decision that there's perhaps some excess contact there. And with that, I believe that's the second yellow card picked up for Campbelltown. Three minutes gone in the second half. And it doesn't seem in these first moments of the second half that Comets have really been able to adjust anything too dramatically enough to threaten Campbelltown. They've been a little bit more patient in their build-up, but nothing real dangerous going forward as of yet. And that's a bit of a clumsy ball paid back by Comets. It was dealt with ultimately by Luich, but Campbelltown players stalking, just a little bit dangerous to play it back in that fashion. Comets in it back just at the edge of their attacking third. Finds its way to Porter. Porter again, just about managed to win that, if not for that big slide in from Kenja Fujinami. The 23-year-old Japanese arrival to Campbelltown for this season. Konwikezwa plays it back to Park, who looks to run it into the middle. Fends off Mullen, fends off 3 red shirts, but eventually it spills to Jordan O'Dowdy. Park chooses Economopoulos. He's still got it somehow, centres it. Irabona looked like he was trying to get there first, but dealt with by Campbelltown. But Comets managed to keep possession, and here's another chance. But Labasso came charging to reclaim, and now they're going the other way. Maury taken to ground by Cameron Carlton, and the supporters below us asking where the yellow is. Regis Quefalek with a shake of the head. Boffa switches it to the other side. Again, we're seeing a bit of patience exercised by Campbelltown at this point. Labasso wins it in a dangerous spot. Gives himself a little bit of space. He's maybe gone a little bit too wide, and he's got 2 Comets players on him, and he's in the motor just trying to retain it before he eventually spills, and Comets win it and look to attack. Long one. It's a little bit too high for Konwikezwa, who is under some physical pressure from Jordan Maricic. O'Dowdy dispossessed by Economopoulos. Seems like the physicality's just stepped up from Comets in recent minutes. Luic tracking back to nullify this run from Josh Murray, who manages to keep it. Now he switched it to the other side to Fujinami. Fujinami tried but opted to play it back. And now Irabona is assessing his options to try go the other way. Harry Conant confidently and comfortably finding Labasso, who opts to play it back again and let Campbelltown build once more. Missionary managing to pick out Alex Mullen in the middle. Boffa now. Fujinami back to Maricic again. Evident that Campbelltown aren't in a terrible hurry at this particular minute as we approach the hour mark. 59 minutes showing on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard. For your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. Park. Long ball looking for Irabona. It's a good first touch. Just held up by Boffa, which potentially could have saved Campbelltown in that instance. And Campbelltown gather once more. Long shot from Economopoulos. Falls straight to the hands of Vaughan. And now we go back the other way. Basso sends it long to Josh Murray. Gets past the first player. He's got some space to work. In the end, Luich deflects, and I'm sure Murray would be happy with that outcome because Campbelltown get away from that with a corner. I wonder if changes will be forthcoming here. Neither bench looks like it's ready for it just yet. We'll see Harrison Conant's right foot go to work from this corner. 24-year-old Harrison Conant from Para Hills Knights, who debuted for the Modbury Jets, their rival, back in 2020 against Croydon. Sends a bit of a flatter ball in. It's stopped in a dangerous position. O'Dowdy finds Conant and he centres it once more. And Park picks it up. He found Porter. Again, a little bit of a shirt pull that initially stifled Comets, and now gone with Keswa. Porter was working hard to stay on side, but just overhit. And Comets just looking like that confidence isn't there at the moment. Porter trying to apply a little bit of pressure on Daniel Vaughan. A call from the Campbelltown bench by Boffa to get a little bit of an energy shot. Daniel Mullen just below us, doesn't look like he's ready to make any changes as of yet though. O'Dowdy threads it through to Murray, and he's got Boffa on the overlap. Evades Irabona. O'Dowdy again. And they opt to build again. Slided in attempt to get it for Minton Park, but he left the player behind and he's been forced to track back aggressively. And now there's a Campbelltown player on the ground and a little bit of a half pleat from the Campbelltown supporters. That should have resulted in more than a free kick. Murray will take this. It was deadly from the spot last week. What can he do now? Be a three-man wall of black and blue. Elsie's gone to support with his height. And it falls just over his head, and Aladdin Irabona manages to clear it initially, but it's a little bit of danger on here as Boffa sends it in high. Murray gets ahead to it. Mullen didn't quite make it to him. And Adelaide Comets get the chance to clear. Well won by O'Dowdy. He centred it, but Adelaide Comets deal with it again. Campbelltown bench is going to warm up. So we may see those changes momentarily.
Let's go, Jules!
Boffer. Now, Adelaide Comets, Gomwikoswa taking it for a run. He's got Porter, who he probably just hit it a little bit too heavy too. But it gives chance for reinforcements to arrive. Porter beat Fujinami, but has to track it back to Park, who sends it in. Gomwikoswa went up to get ahead to it, but Elsie was in the way. Maverick Bartos. It's Cameron Carlton. Carlton does well to pick out a receiver in Economopoulos, but he didn't have enough on that shot that he turned around to take. Adelaide Comets win it again. They've had a couple opportunities to break forward quickly over the last 5 minutes or so, but not able to capitalise in it. I don't think Campbelltown have had the same level of dominance in the second half as they did in the first. Irabona! Give him a little bit of space and he'll try to take his shot. Just a little bit too high in the end. And here are those changes that we've been waiting for. Daniel Mullen will make a change. Julian Laleggio, the 18-year-old striker, will be the one to come on. Debuted for Campbelltown against Croydon last year. Former Blue Eagle, former Metro Star. A reserves title to his name as well. Gomwikoswa fighting for it, but ends up spilling it to Harrison Conant. Mullen strongly keeps possession. Murray now. But Labasso doesn't manage to get there first. Murray goes to ground, and Adelaide Comets with a little bit of a panic long ball forward because he wasn't threatening. Porter was vaguely in the neighbourhood, but just a little bit rushed in the end. And it looks like Campbelltown won't be the only ones to make a change because Jake Dorsey is preparing for Adelaide Comets to come on as well. Another young striker, 22 years of age. Debuted in 2023 against Adelaide City. He also has the reserves championship title to his name. Murray wins the header, but Maverick Bartos does the cleaning up. Still fighting for it, Campbelltown, but Luich gets it and decides to go long to Porter. That's a good ball. Goes central. Mullen coming back. Gomwikoswa was the intended target, but didn't manage to control it. Now this is a little bit of a concern here. With Jake Porter holding his calf, they're calling on a trainer. He's getting a little bit of a stretch, so it looks like it perhaps he's just a little bit of a cramp here in the 69th minute on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. And here are those changes that we've been waiting for. Jordan O'Dowdy will be the one to make way for the oncoming Julian Laleggio. So O'Dowdy putting in 70 minutes worth of shift, working hard in the central midfield area. He's seemed to be everywhere. Laleggio is more of a out-and-out strike. Will be interesting to see what they rejig here to make way. Haven't got a huge buffer, Campbelltown, it must be said. And they'll look to create a little bit more from here. It's a little bit surprising that the change for Comets has been Aladdin Irabona coming off, and he's handed over the captain's armband. Another winger in Jake Dorsey coming on. And he just showed his frustration as he came off Aladdin Irabona. I think possibly there may have been another change that we've missed as well. No, it looks like just the one at this stage, but I can tell you number 10 for Comets, Anthony Mavrolambardos, is now wearing the armband. Jake Dorsey just tucking in on the left-hand side. Jake Porter walking off that cramp or knock or whatever it was. Irabona taking the opportunity to give Dorsey some instructions. Jake Porter's still limping to the bench, so not sure if he has been subbed off. I didn't catch another player coming on for Adelaide Comets, to be honest. LC is Campbelltown build up. Again, despite Campbelltown looking the more impressive this afternoon, the Comets certainly not out of it, just trailing by one. Plenty of instructions coming from the Comets bench and the coaching staff led by Thomas Overall. Just chatting amongst themselves as well. We see another sub preparing as well. There's the signal for that change to be made. Panayoti Politis will be coming on. He debuted for Adelaide Comets against Para Hills in 2024. Young 19-year-old. So he looks to be that replacement for Jake Porter, who did manage to come back on. Limped off just a couple of minutes ago. Thomas threw it in, but to opposition, Jordan Elsey. Murray charging forward again, and Alex Mullen just showing his strength today. Keeps it again. Mullen, captain Campbelltown, finds Boffa, who tries to switch it. It won't quite get there. Free kick given to Campbelltown. Only just over 15 minutes of regular time left. And it's time to talk about some of the standout players that we've seen this afternoon. You've got to put the name Harrison Conant on there, the 31st minute goal scorer. LC just getting a touch there has been impressive. Jordan O'Dowdy for me as well has also been quite good for Campbelltown. A little bit of a quieter half for Josh Murray. Being contained on the near side in the second. They did switch sides, him and Conant, late in the second half. So I wonder if that switch will be made again for Campbelltown. And that may be the thing that helps them get their second goal. Nice ball from Pictionary to find the sub, Laleggio. He keeps it, centres it, and Alex Mullen. That was not the intended ball that he wanted to send goalward towards Yanni Delengas. Labasso intercepts, feeds it to Conant, but it goes out. Another throw-in for Adelaide Comets, who'll play it back and look to start another late charge. Luich looks to be assessing a long option. He picks one. He was looking for Jake Dorsey, the sub. Daniel Vaughan ends up being the recipient, and he's content to take his time. You saw him hesitate there to pick it up. It is a change of rules that it's only 8 seconds to dispose of the ball once they control it this year. Despite that, he did his best within the rules to burn up a little bit of time. Mullen again. Talking about the standout players, I think he may be one of mine for Campbelltown this afternoon. 34 years of age and in fine form. Campbelltown calling for a sub now. Adam Lee and Bruno coming on. James Boffer making way. Lee and Bruno was a starter last week. This week he comes on in the 77th minute. Long ball looking for Park. Looks like he'll get to it ahead of Labasso, but he does well sliding in to deflect, but it will be a Comets corner. Maverlin Bartos now wearing the captain's armband will take it once more. There haven't been a huge amount of chances for Comets, and the one that they've had been squandered ends up going straight to the hands of Daniel Vaughan. So that pursuit of an equaliser continues for Adelaide Comets. Meanwhile, Campbelltown certainly haven't had the urgency this half that they had in the first with that one goal buffer. Park wins it. Manages to keep it despite a couple of tackle attempts coming in. Now there goes the whistle, and Queflek rushing over to Harrison Conant. Regis Queflek calling the captains over. Just giving some instructions to Mullen and Maverlin Bartos. Seems he's just conferring with his assistant ref, and the yellow card comes out again. So Adelaide Comets go into the book, and it looks like they're looking to their bench as well. Philip Spadavecchia, the 20-year-old midfielder, number 8, previously played with Fulham United, looks to be coming on this next change. And Sebastian Good, the 24-year-old, formerly with West Adelaide, Adelaide City, Raiders, Croydon and FK Beergrad. The striker looks to be coming on shortly as well. Whistle goes again, and it looks like we'll see that change from Comets. Gildas Gonwikezwa calls it a day. Cameron Carlton also will get a rest in the 81st minute on the One World LED and Sportal Solutions scoreboard. For all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. Well, this game's certainly not over yet, but maybe a good time to have a look at the upcoming fixtures for these two teams. Adelaide Comets will travel away for the first time this year and face West Adelaide next Friday night, late 8:30 kickoff. Week after they'll host Adelaide United. Here's a chance potentially for Comets. Dorsey, the sub, denied that cross by Kenya Fujinami, set up for another corner. Dorsey favoured for those corners from the left-hand side. Sends it in. It fell to the head of a Comets player, but not out of danger yet. Campbelltown. And now finally, Campbelltown happy to clear over the sideline. So just going back to the upcoming fixtures, round 4 we'll see Comets host Adelaide United, followed by round 5 away at Adelaide City as Dorsey comes in. Picks out a target, he'll get a chance to cross. Jordan Elsey judges it well and gets there. And Campbelltown, round 3 sees them play at Jack Smith against West Torrens Bacalla, another Friday night fixture with the 8 o'clock kickoff. Saturday at Playford. West Adelaide away, round 5. On Saturday night, the 28th. Campbelltown now breaking at pace. Luich times his push on Laleggio. And now it's going back the other way. Another chance for Adelaide Comets to tie things up. We haven't seen Campbelltown capitalise and extend that lead, so they certainly can't be too comfortable because Comets are turning up the dial here now. Dorsey again. Pilates, he centres it. Hardy shoving the back of Spadavecchia. Chance. Pilates. Park. Sort of seemed to trip over the ball there, but a couple of chances to get a shot off the Comets, but again, maybe looking a little bit panicked and didn't have the confidence to uncork it, so denied, and it's now the 84th minute, and as time goes on, they look less and less likely to get that equaliser. Will be 2 home losses on the trot for Comets if this scoreline carries to 90 minutes.
Good edge. Yes, LC. Go, Jules.
That Noss chooses Maverill Bartos short. Maury, he's got Mullen as an option, but he's pushed off by Comets, who come to attack again. Dorsey. Going to see another change. Liam DeCorso will be coming on. Not just yet, though. Dorsey, he's been effective since he's come on. Economopoulos finds Park. He centres it to Spadavecchia. Park again. Cross comes in. He's got someone waiting there. Oh, Sebastian Good, who got ahead to it too high. And that's another painful miss in the 86th minute now. And the live ladder as it stands, Campbelltown currently in 7th spot, and Adelaide Comets in last spot. After 2 home games, not how they want to start the RAA NPLSA season for 2026. We're getting towards full time at the Paddocks as well, where Para Hills have got 2 back in the second half so far. 87 minutes gone, and they're all tied up with their visitors, West Torrens Pacalla. We know they don't mind a late goal at all. All we have to do is look back to round 22 of last year against Metro Stars, so things are getting exciting there. Sturt Lions are in the 43rd minute hosting West Adelaide, and they've got a 2-0 lead currently. Meanwhile, right in front of us, we've got a change here. Liam DeCorso getting ready to come on. Captain Alex Mullen will make way after a very impressive game from him. Couple of games to check out tonight. 7 o'clock TK Shutter, Metro Stars, Playford City. 7:30, Croydon hosting Adelaide City at Regency Park. Check out the games if you're free. There'll be a couple of good ones. Of course, if you're stuck at home, FSA leagues will have all the action. Maverill Bartos. They managed to keep it in that attacking third. Economopoulos looked like he measured a chance for a long-range shot here. Park, this could be a valuable cross. Labasso was stalking him the whole way, and it goes out. Maverill Bartos will take yet another corner. Just shy of the 89th minute. He chooses a short option to Park. He sends it in. It's cut off though. Maverill Bartos picks out Politis, working hard to get past Labasso, but he wasn't going to let that happen. Adelaide Comets still fighting at this late stage. Another short one to Park. Decides to wait to send it in. Still hits Campbelltown player though. Long shot. Harry Thomas had enough space to try line it up, but a little bit too far out. It goes just over. So it looks like we'll see this carry, which will land Campbelltown in 7th spot on the live ladder, Adelaide Comets in 12th. If they can't get anything done in injury time. Luic to Vatnos. Vatnos looks forward. Finds Park. A little bit hurried in playing that forward, and there's no one to receive it. So this will be a goal kick for Daniel Vaughan that he'll be in absolutely no rush to take. He was looking for Maury. Maury finds himself with it now. DeCorso managed to pick out Labasso, who tried to cross, if not for Park in his way. Unsurprisingly, Campbelltown play it back. Campbelltown kept it in and lost it. Good. He was looking for DeCorso, who looks like he may have got the final touch before it went out. Two minutes into injury time now. Just waiting on Regis Quefalek to blow the whistle. Adelaide Comets will continue to fight all the way. Janami gives it away. Looked like it might have been the last chance for Adelaide Comets to play it forward, but the whistle goes. Marvel Vardos initially looked like he was going to take the free kick, but he's been ushered forward by Delengus, and he'll send this long, but he's got the wind at his back now. Looked like a half chance there for a moment. Luic was charging in, then went to ground. Not sure if he had a little bit of help or just desperately running to try and get a touch on that and spoil Campbelltown's party late. And once again, this far into injury time, I don't think Warren will be in a hurry to take that kick. He eventually does. Free kick won by Campbelltown. Harrison Conant, for me, he's been one of the standouts this afternoon, especially in the first half. Maury wins it, keeps it in. Late shot from Liam DeCorso, the sub. And there is the final whistle that Campbelltown have been waiting for some time, and that Adelaide Comets have been dreading. The final result at LJ Hooker Mile End Sports Park. Adelaide Comets 0, Campbelltown 1. That sole goal at the 31-minute mark, thanks to Harrison Conant, the player that Campbelltown brought in from Para Hills. It was enough to get the job done. gave Campbelltown the luxury to see out that second half, and from there, Adelaide Comets forced the chase. Possibly a little bit desperate at times and not rewarded. You can see the stats on your screen now. Comets actually getting in front in the shot stake. Even one more shot on target, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think they looked overall the more threatening of these two teams. And Campbelltown, it seemed like they pulled back on the urgency in the second half, but an entertaining game nonetheless at LJ Hooker Myland Sports Park for round 2 of the RA National Premier League South Australia. It's been Simon Jimenez keeping you company. I will be back a little bit later tonight from TK Shutter Reserve for Metro Stars and Playford with a 7 o'clock kickoff. Croydon and Adelaide City at Regency Park as well. Come down and see us. If not, join us on FSA Leagues. But for now, we'll catch you next time.